This is Real Retirees Uncut, no filters, no scripts, just conversations about what retirement is really like. Let's meet today's real retiree. Give me your name, your age, and where you're from.
My name is Joseph Eli Jean Paul Marcotte. I'm originally from Elliott Lake, just outside of Sudbury. I now reside in Singhampton off of Highway 124, 5 minutes away from the Devil's Glen, where I built my dream house.
Okay. Now, when did you retire and from what career field did you retire from?
I retired in May. Well, I retired 5 years before that. So I would have been just getting into my 60s when I retired the actual work line of it, but never got out of the working field.
And what career field was that from?
I was flooring for a bunch of different flooring companies.
Okay. Now, when you decided to retire from the flooring industry, what was that decision that drove your retirement? Did you wake up one day and say, I've had enough with flooring and I want to do something else, or I want to just retire altogether? What was your decision point that caused you to retire?
My decision point was my health,
Uh huh.
and it was going downhill. My hips were going, my knees were going, and I was having a lot of medical issues to where I was on disability for quite a while.
Okay. So, health reasons. Tell me one or two things that you're glad that you no longer have to deal with when it comes to work. You wake up in the morning, you say, man, I'm glad I no longer have to deal with that.
Um, I'm comfortable with still dealing with it on an outside basis looking in, but retirement for me just meant me wanting to do a lot of different things in a lot of different fields.
Yeah. But if there's a single thing that you're glad you no longer have to deal with in the morning when you wake up, when you go to work, what is that? Some people say the alarm clock, traffic, people, supervising. Is there any one particular thing you're glad you no longer have to deal with?
No, there isn't really. I was
Okay.
just sad that I had to because I didn't want to, but
Hmm.
health reasons didn't give me any choice.
Understand. Now, during your working career, what was your approach to savings to make sure that you were set up financially to be able to survive in retirement? Did you invest? Did you just put money in a savings account? What was your saving strategy?
Well, my saving strategy was I put my entire life savings into the trust of my wife
Hmm.
and put two kids through rep hockey their whole lives
Okay.
and took care of my daughter and fostered about 9 different kids.
Now, do you know if your wife took the money that you gave her? Did she invest it in the stock market, anything like that?
Nope, she didn't. She took care of making sure there was food, bills were paid, mortgage was paid, cars were taken care of,
Yeah.
maintenance, all kinds of stuff. She had a lot on her plate.
Right. Now, throughout that period, do you know if you all ever used a financial advisor or a tax planner?
Yes, I did. I had an accountant that turned out to be audited, and from there, it was big trouble
Hmm.
because she cooked the books, and I wound up owing the government $250,000.
So basically, that tax planner didn't do you much good, huh?
No, not at all.
All right. Now that you're in retirement, what do you use as your primary sources of income to sustain you and your family from month to month and year to year?
Um, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm into various different companies that I'm just starting up to see if they float. And if they float, then at that point, I'm going to carry on further.
Okay.
But right now, I have 10 businesses that I'm looking at, and I have already started to see if they're going to float on their own, and then I'll register them with the government.
Okay. Now I hear a lot of people say that after they have retired and they've saved for so long, they have a problem with all the money that they save. They have a problem now spending some of that money. Have you experienced that? Do you have a problem spending anything that you saved so far?
I have no problem with spending every dime I have, and I do.
Okay.
And I help people, and I'll never stop helping people because people are important. It doesn't matter if they're in Canada, the Dominican, Russia, Korea, everywhere. If
Okay.
you listen to the news, you'll see there's wars going on
Hmm.
everywhere where people need the help.
Right.
And I plan on being there to help them out.
So no problem with
That's
spending it
my
all.
that's my biggest thing
Yeah.
is helping people out,
Okay. Now,
and especially in Ukraine.
yeah. So let me ask you this. In the US, I'm not sure how it is in Canada, but in the mid 70s, if we have money in a tax deferred account, we're required to take a certain amount per year. Do you have a similar system in Canada where if you have so much saved, the government will require you to start taking it at a certain age?
Our government, the way they operate, is they find a way to take it out in taxes.
Okay.
Okay? And it's a government, and I'll be quite frank with you. I don't care if we're talking about the government in Canada
Hmm.
or the government in the States. They're all the type of people that do what they want to do, and that's being nice.
Yeah.
And the little guy has a hard time climbing up the ladder
Okay.
if people's hands aren't rubbed.
Yeah. So with the Canadian, I think it's called old age, but your equivalent of our Social Security system, have you already taken your Social Security or old age disability? I can't remember the name of it, but have you already taken that?
Well, they automatically kicked me off disability and put me right on to old age pension
Old age pension. Okay.
because it pays less
Yeah.
and it makes it harder to survive
Now,
in my lifestyle.
what age did you start taking that old age disability?
May 28th of this year,
Okay, at the age of 65, and you didn't have a choice. You had to take it then.
I had no choice.
Okay. What are you doing now for health care and life insurance?
Well, I have no life insurance. The health care is whatever the system provides for me. So I'm paying for my own medications and everything that I never had to before.
Okay.
And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other loops that I'm going to have to go through, that the government will find a way to get their fingers in
Now, as far
to
as
my
life,
lifestyle.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but as far as the life insurance, you say you don't have it. Is that because you choose not to have it, or you just don't need it?
Well, no, it's none of them. It's because until I turned 60 was a big thing, and I take care of my mother-in-law that's
Hmm.
75, and that's a 24/7 day a week job
Yep.
because she suffers from various problems and forgetfulness.
Yeah.
And that's where I got thinking. So right now I'm in the middle of getting life insurance policies for all my loved ones in
What
my
about for you?
family and for myself.
Okay. Now in retirement, tell us, what is a typical day like for you now in retirement? From the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed at night, just kind of run me through the average day for you.
The average day for me is working on things that I want to turn into businesses
Hmm.
and getting the right people, interviewing people, and just I'm busy.
Okay.
My day starts at about 4:30 in the morning and it ends at about 10 at night.
Do you find yourself busier now in retirement than you were when you were working in the flooring industry?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I hear a lot of people say that. Tell me, what do you enjoy most about retirement?
The fact that I have the freedom to do whatever I want.
Hmm.
And I believe that in Canada, which is one really, really bonus point, that us Canadians have the freedom of speech to say what they want
Right.
to a certain point
Okay.
before we start upsetting people that are up the chain a lot higher than we are.
Yeah. Now, have you had any major lifestyle changes since you retired? Have you relocated, downsized your house, or started to travel more? Anything major?
Yeah, well, we lost our house in a fire and we toughened up and went through it. The insurance company took advantage of us.
Hmm.
And yeah, we put everything we got from the insurance company into building our dream house,
Okay.
plus all the money that we had invested.
Hmm.
And the safe broke open in the fire, and I lost about $250,000 in
Wow.
diamonds and stuff.
Okay.
But we walked over it.
Yeah.
We climbed over it. We stayed tough and we stayed together as a
Hmm.
family.
In retirement, have you developed any new hobbies, new interests, or new skills?
Absolutely.
And what are they?
All kinds of them. I don't think you have time to even
Just give
go
me,
there.
just give us a couple.
I'll give you a
Yeah.
couple. Scrapyard business,
Uh huh.
car detailing, security. Um, Jesus,
Okay. Well, that's enough to
there's a
keep you busy,
lot of
right?
them. There's a lot of
Yeah.
them.
So tell us, since you retired, what has been the best trip that you've taken, or the best activity that you've done?
I don't know yet because I haven't finished.
Okay.
I'm
But
only just started, and this is my fourth trip.
but of the four that you've already done, what has been the best?
Well, I can't really give you an honest answer on that because I only came to this resort last night.
Uh huh.
So I've only had a day to actually
Still.
feel out this company
Okay. So you're still assessing,
and
right?
this resort.
I got you.
But I'm not happy that a resort of this quality has to have drugs in it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fair enough. How do you maintain your physical and your mental health in retirement?
I see a psychiatrist, I talk to people, and I work out.
Hmm. Okay. And I know you mentioned the loss of the house, but since you retired, has there been any other big challenges or big surprises or expenses?
Absolutely. My brother, which is a crackhead, has been involved in my life, has followed me everywhere for the last 40 years,
Yeah.
and he's cost me nothing but money. And I've never been able to say no to him because I love him.
Right.
So he's back into a lot of trouble, and here I am.
Okay.
I retained him a lawyer and everything to try and help him out.
Yeah. Now, do you wish that you would have retired sooner or later, or do you feel that you retired at about the right time?
I don't know my feelings to that yet because I've never took the time to think about it.
Yeah. Okay. It's a little bit too soon, right? Now.
Well, it's not that it's a little bit too soon. It's that I just can't comprehend it right now
Hmm.
because I have so many ideals that I have to talk to people about them
Yeah.
because they just pour out of my head and keep me up all night.
Okay. Now, is there anything that you wish that you would have done differently to better prepare for retirement?
Well, yeah, I would have. I would have rather have known who my real family was
Hmm.
and that I was 69% First Nation and that I was the heir to the princess of the First Nation.
Okay.
And I didn't know that, and I've never gotten anything from them, a native status card, nothing, because I like doing things and standing up on my own 2 feet.
Yeah. But as far as preparing yourself financially or otherwise, can you think of anything else that you would have done to make sure that your retirement was better, or was it okay the way it was?
It was really good the way it was, thanks to my wife.
Yeah. Okay.
She's very good at taking care of us and our family
Yeah.
and the kids that we took care of, and we never closed the doors behind us to kids in trouble.
Yeah. Now, have you done any estate planning, such as putting a trust or will or power of attorney in place?
We're in the making of that right now,
Hmm.
actually, as we speak.
Okay. How would you define retirement success? If you had to put it in a few words or a sentence, what do you consider to be a successful retirement?
Well, I think that the government needs to sharpen up a lot on that and take care of us retired people a
Hmm.
little bit better, because of the fact that we were in their radar right from the age of 15 working
Hmm.
until 65. And I feel that they're just not doing a good enough job with us.
So, if you could fix the system that you mentioned with the government and redo everything in your system, what would you do to make sure that someone could define their retirement as successful?
I would probably start off by firing the Prime Minister of Canada,
Mm.
because I just don't feel that he's got the balls to take care of us Canadians. There's a lot of talk and a lot of smoke, just like Bush does, but there's no action.
Okay, but other than that, what would you consider a successful retirement?
I
If
don't know, because this is my first time and I've only been retired since May.
Okay, so again, you're still assessing it, right?
Yes, I am.
If you had to give advice to another Canadian or anyone for that matter that's about 5 to 10 years from retiring, what advice would that be? Maybe something that we haven't already covered to help them
I,
plan
I
better.
would I would really at this point like to see our retirement system get a lot better for those people that are retiring,
Hmm.
because there's so many of them in Canada, and like a lot of them can't even get doctors and stuff, and I feel for them.
But as far as telling someone else how to better plan for retirement, what advice would you give them if they were saying, hey, I'm going to retire in 3 years? What advice can you give me? What would you tell them?
I would probably tell them to talk to the people and the counseling and the counselors that I have
Hmm.
that are involved in my life, that I pay by the hour, strictly to deal with people with problems, um, crack addicts and stuff like that. I have counselors that specifically deal with stuff like that to help
Yeah.
them out and to watch out for retired people, that they're not taken advantage of,
Yeah.
robbed, or pushed around.
So maybe to paraphrase, seek some counsel from somebody that can give them advice on how to retire, and then maybe get advice from someone else who's already retired. Sort of like what we're doing right
Absolutely.
here.
I think that they need to attend meetings
Yeah.
upon their retirement and get told what their rights are,
Yeah.
not told what their rights are going to be.
Yeah.
Not given an option
Hmm.
is not an option.
Okay. All right. Well, I thank you very much for all your great advice, especially from a Canadian's perspective. And I'm sure that the audience will greatly appreciate it. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.